We've won one state championship in 1989 and have come second a couple of times, but generally we're finishing around third, fourth, and fifth place.
Let's go to work, baby. For the state Class A championship. You're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for everybody who won up the level.
I think it's great that people are expecting me to be one of the leaders of the teams of the future, most likely. I fully would love to accept that role and just be the best player and leader that I could be, just to help this team become the best team we can possibly be.
I tell these guys before the season that a football season I equate to climbing a mountain, and each step is a game, and it's a long, grueling journey from summer workouts to summer practice to two-a-days to scrimmages to the first ball game, all the way right up through the cold and rain in November and December to win a state championship.
The quest for the Georgia High School State Championship began as the Marist War Eagles hosted Buck Godfrey's perennial power, Southwest DeKalb. With senior Sean McVay at the helm, the War Eagles started the opening possession on their 18-yard line. McVay's keeper for 17 yards gained the first down. On the next play, McVay's pitch to Anderson Russell resulted in a 19-yard gallop. McVay then threw an 18-yard strike to Chris Cody. The Marist signal caller jaunted for 24 yards to the Panther 14-yard line on the next play. After drawing Southwest DeKalb offsides with a hard count, McVay dashed for the score, capping an impressive 6-minute and 20-second drive covering 13 plays. And Mike Matamo's kick gives Marist a 7-0 lead. A swarm of War Eagles led by Nathan Madigan stopped the kickoff return at the 16-yard line. After a strong Marist defensive showing, Southwest punted and Marist started its next position at midfield. McVay drops back, and on first down, McVay's trickery led to a 50-yard scoring bomb to speedster Chris Davis. Matamo converted again, and the War Eagles' lead became 14-zip. On Southwest DeKalb's possession, Andrew Deedy made a defensive gem on the last play of the first quarter. Here on the triple option, McVay pitches to Russell on a big gain for 25 yards. Snap to McVay. McVay cuts off a block by Chris Bradford to the sideline. He's in the open. Sean McVay cuts back to midfield. He's at the 25. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Marist. Panthers back. Next possession. There's Bud Crawford. He leads the charge. No gain. From deep in his own territory, the Southwest DeKalb quarterback heaves a long pass, but great coverage by Andrew Card forces another punt. Back in the shotgun, McVay looks and flips for 15 yards to Russell. Then the War Eagles tried a 50-yard field goal attempt, which failed as the half ended, Marist leading 21-0. After intermission, the Panthers kicked a 38-yard field goal to reduce the margin to 21-3 Marist. Early in the second half, on a critical third down play, Andrew Card takes the reverse and sprints 45 yards to the Southwest DeKalb 16. And on the next play, Michael Cody again bulls his way for another first down. Mike's younger brother Chris Cody at the helm scores on the keeper to increase the lead to 28-3 Marist as his third quarter expired. The wishbone was operating at optimum efficiency. Later, an Cody to Cody aerial hookup was good for 11 yards. Marist knocking, handoff to Cody, behind Rumsey, touchdown. Leading to a final score in favor of Alan Chadwick's squad, 35-3. It was the second consecutive year Marist defeated the Southwest DeKalb Panthers.
Each one of us have left something special, a small part of us out on the field, and I think that those small bits culminate into what is known as the long blue line.
I guess it's a right, like as a Marist, it's an oath the Marist football player takes, just not to let players and coaches down, but don't let the long blue line down.
It just kind of signifies like a tradition of excellence.
You're really going out for the guys who've played before you and, you know, setting a standard for the future guys who play after you. So you're really just trying to keep the tradition going and, you know, winning games and going for that high goal for that state championship.
Marist football to me, first of all, means a great tradition.
I just feel that every team has their own individual aspects and every team should be taken separately. And you're not given anything just because you're part of the tradition. And every team has to make a name for themselves.
All the people who have put in their blood, sweat, and tears, you know, before me, and who've come in and done what they needed to do to give Marist a great tradition and make Marist the program that it really is.
Being a part of that long blue line is just kind of like people thinking back on, like, you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers when they were, you know, a great defense and things like that. And it just really means a lot that I know that no matter what happens from this day on, I'll always be remembered from that Marist football team, 2003, that won the state championship game.
On the next Friday night, Marist traveled to North DeKalb Stadium to do battle with rival Dunwoody. On the opening kickoff, Anderson Russell explodes for 34 yards out to midfield. Nimble-footed Sean McVay then danced for 11 yards, but a penalty forced a Marist punt. A spectacular defense by Andrew Card, Michael Palma, and J.D. Black forced a Wildcat punt. Smothering pressure on the punter resulted in a negative 2-yard punt. Handoff to Davis, behind Casey Murphy's block. He's still driving inside the 5. On the next play, Anderson Russell tore off left tackle for 5 yards and scored. Mike Manamo made it 7-0 Marist late in the first quarter. Defensive stalwart Peter Guchenritter makes a terrific stop on the ensuing Dunwoody possession, and the War Eagles took over on its own 45-yard line. The Marist offensive line opens the path, and Michael Ash Cody scoots for 16 yards. Michael Ash Cody again bulls his way for another first down. McVay fakes the pitch and skips to the 1-yard line as the quarter ends. Michael Ash Cody then smashed for the touchdown, and Marist took a commanding 14-0 lead. Andrew Deedy joined Bud Crawford to make a jarring tackle. Michael Ash Cody then outsped the Wildcat secondary, and Marist took another 21-0 lead with 10-12 left in the second quarter. Greg Van Valkenburg and Andrew Card led a charge which results in a safety for the War Eagles to make it 23-0. From the Marist 25-yard line, the Dunwoody quarterback scrambled to the Marist 1-yard line. Dunwoody punched it in, cutting Marist's lead to 23-7. William Middleton deep to field the Tucker kickoff at his 20. Middleton cracks through the seam. Middleton runs. Middleton could go all the way. William Middleton glides 80 yards to pay dirt. Matamo converts 30-7 Marist. Deedy, Van Valkenburg, Black, and Guchenritter then played havoc with the Dunwoody offense. Marist had to settle for a 31-yard Matamo field goal to give Marist a commanding 33-7 halftime lead. After an interference call against the War Eagles, Dunwoody struck quickly for a touchdown. The 2-point effort was wrecked on the 1 by the War Eagles, and at the end of 3 quarters, it was Marist 33, Dunwoody 13. McVay then hit Chris Davis on a slant, and the Duke-bound senior sprinted to the end zone, making the score 39-13 Marist. Later in the fourth stanza, Dunwoody reeled off a stunning 64-yard touchdown run to narrow the score to 39-19 War Eagles. On the next drive, Michael Ashcody dashed 27 yards. Chili Davis then broke one for 17 yards. After a miscue, Marist had to settle for a 31-yard field goal. Marist led 42-21. Bud Crawford and Chris Bradford led the Marist tacklers once again. Bradford applied the pressure.
Nice play, Andrew Card.
Handoff to Rob Husel. He plunges over 4 yards, touchdown. 49-21 Marist. That's the final from North DeKalb Stadium as Tucker looms next week.
Going into this season, we're all just ready, just to see what would happen, just to see the outcome of this season. And I mean, once we got rolling, we just kept rolling. And I mean, it was just fun to see how hard we worked in the summer and the off season, and just let it loose when the season came around.
It was guarded optimism, but I really felt like this was a team that could contend, and it was proven correct. It's nice to finally get over the hump and have the talent to win it and actually make the plays and get it done.
Everybody's just decided that they want to achieve this as a family and as a group, and it all came together for us. And I'd say that's the big reason why we were so close, is because everybody was trying to do the same thing, and that's win a state championship.
But Marist football is Marist football because of the chemistry and the way we all push in the same direction, the way we pick each other up, the way we work together. That's what Marist football is about, and that was the best thing we had going for us.
I mean, we finished third in the state last year, lost a heartbreaker in overtime, and this was a team made up almost entirely of juniors. They had a lot returning. I don't think anything would have satisfied us if we had won state.
And there's that thing that's called chemistry that I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to. And when you've got a group of people, a group of gifted, talented, hardworking, honest people, and they want to go after something, and they do so with the type of determination and heart and the willingness to put a goal above themselves, as our guys did, you can't beat that. And that's what we had this year.
Next, number 4 ranked Marist hosted 3rd ranked Tucker at a sold-out Hughes Spalding Stadium. Marist won the toss and chose the ball. William Middleton returned the kick to his own 20. On the first play from scrimmage, Alan Chadwick fooled Tucker as Andrew Card flew 62 yards with the reverse to Tucker's 18-yard line. The quick-footed Sean McVay then faked and broke for a 5-yard touchdown run. Manamo sticks the extra point, 7-0 Marist. Bud Crawford cracked and caused a 2-yard loss. The elusive feature back, Thomas Brown, rambled for 20 yards on the next play to be shoved out at the sidelines. Then a blitzing Chris Davis batted down a pass attempt. Tucker was forced to attempt successfully a 29-yard field goal effort to slice the Marist lead to 7-3 with 4:54 left in the first quarter. William Middleton caught the kickoff and galloped with the ball 38 yards to the Marist 40. Anderson, using his power, then picked up 27 yards on a counter play. Anderson then churned for another 14 yards, creating a first down on the Tiger 22. Chris Davis then lofted a halfback pass to Anderson for another Marist touchdown. And the extra point is good. Marist leads 14-3. All-State Thomas Brown then rallied with an electrifying 56-yard touchdown to make it a 14-10 game. Then early in the second quarter, Sean McVay crossed up Tucker with a quick kick that was downed on the Tucker 2-yard line. Chili Davis and J.D. Black stopped Tucker for no gain. And then Peter Guccienritter added another fine defensive stop. On third down, McVay foiled the Tucker pass attempt, and the Tigers were forced to punt.
Manamo trying it from 30. He sticks it.
That gave Marist a 17-10 lead. After forcing a Tucker punt, Marist took over on the Tucker 45, and Tucker's defense created a rare War Eagle turnover. On first down, Tucker gambled and threw deep.
Chris Ashcody
Vaulted high to grab the pick in the end zone. Striking quickly, Sean McVay turned a quarterback misdirection play into, it could be a 78-yard saunter to the Tiger 2-yard line. Chili Davis followed his punishing offensive line, led by Matt Rumsey, into the end zone. The Marist lead is now 24-10. Sean McVay in coverage then corralled a Tucker pass on the Marist 3-yard line to end the first half, giving Marist a 24-10 lead at intermission. Tucker acquired super field position with the second half kickoff return. After a poor pitch, Thomas Brown was nailed for a 6-yard loss by Michael Palma. On fourth down, Peter Guccienritter and Chili Davis then led a furious Marist pursuit to stop the elusive Thomas Brown from breaking away. Early in the fourth, on a Tucker toss sweep, Chili Davis led a surge of blue jerseys to force the Tigers to settle for a 37-yard field goal. The score now, Marist 24, Tucker 13. Sean McVay then drops back and sealed the Tigers' doom with a 76-yard scoring hookup with Chili Davis, giving Marist a 31-13 lead with 6:07 left. After a short TD pass, the Tigers made it 31-19 with 3:20 left. On the game's final play, the Marist defense stopped a Tucker screen pass. The final score from a ballistic Hughes Spalding Stadium, Marist 31, Tucker number 3 ranked 19.
I'd say the very first play against Tucker, we ran that split end reverse. And it's so uncharacteristic of us to run a reverse for the very opening play. I mean, it's normally belly or triple or a play like that. But the split end reverse, they never saw it coming. They almost didn't catch us. You know, I mean, we got down to about the 15-yard line. And it was a great way to open the game, gave us a ton of confidence, and totally caught them by surprise.
They beat us the past 2 years, and it was, you know, they really got to be where they were a little bit too cocky and things like that, you know, not respecting us anymore. And it was kind of like, you know, we needed to let them know that we were still there, we were still the top dog.
I believe that we were going to take it all the way, especially after we beat Tucker. And that was just a big turning point. We had so many great leaders on the team that just did an unbelievable job. I mean, it's hard to say one person that stuck out in my mind as a leader, but all the seniors in general. I think the fact that we had 37 guys stick it out, and we were all like a big family sticking it out together, playing since 7th or 8th grade, and the fact that all 37 guys have stayed that long together, you know, that's leadership in itself.
In 7th grade, we were winless, didn't even win a game, but our class kept working hard, and finally, it helped us get to where we wanted to be, and that's a state championship. So if you hard work and just listen to the coaches, it'll help you get to all your goals.
And we were expecting to have a good football team this year. Whether we were going to be the great team that was going to be able to win the Dome and go to the state championship game and win it remained to be seen, because there were some great football teams out there.
I mean, all the hard work we did, Iron War Eagle, summer workouts, mile-and-a-half run, made it all worth the while.
Fun comes with it though, a lot of hard work and pain and suffering. Practice always wasn't that fun, but when you get out, it's all worth it Friday nights.
After the huge Tucker win, Marist traveled to North Springs for a 6 Quad A matchup.
North Springs has won the toss and deferred the second half. They will defend the south end zone and kick.
Marist receives the opening kickoff. William Middleton catches the ball and provides excellent field position as he races to his 40-yard line. Sean McVay rolls out and completes a 19-yard strike to Michael Cody to keep the initial drive rolling.
Hand it off to Russell. Russell barrels, 9 yards, touchdown.
The PAT was tipped and the War Eagles held a 6-0 lead with 7:35 left in the first frame. After strong defense and a Tucker punt, McVay rolled right and found a wide open Anderson Russell, who raced down the sideline for a 75-yard Marist touchdown. Marist now up 13-0.
Peter Guchenritter leads a bevy of tacklers.
Andrew Deedy then hog-collared the next Spartan run play, forcing a North Springs punt. Marist drove, but after a clip was forced to settle for a 47-yard field goal by Mike Matamo. After a North Springs punt, McVay lofted a 24-yard completion to Patrick Gleason, who sprinted to the 21. Then Anderson Russell on the pitch cut back and tore for 12 tough yards. Chili Davis roared into the end zone from 2 yards out behind splendid blocks. McVay's pass for the 2-point conversion was snared by Chris Cody. Marist 24-0 with 6:40 left in quarter 2. North Springs' offensive effort is halted as Bud Crawford and Greg Van Valkenburg say, "No way, Jose." Marist takes the 24-0 lead into the locker room. Early in the third period, North Spring back to pass, plucked out of the air by William Middleton, hops on his horse, skirts left. William cuts back to the right. He's at midfield. William at the 25, the 20, the 15. William hauled from behind on the 5-yard line. After a flag, Marist Andrew Card hauled in the pass for a 27-yard gain.
Cody off Andy Norwood, touchdown.
Marist 30-0. After a Marist fumble, North Springs on a sweep ended the scoring for the quarter, 30-7 War Eagles. With Lady Luck smiling, the Spartans connect for a 66-yard bomb. And he does cut back successfully and saunters in for a Spartan touchdown. Michael Cody with the ball dashes for a 35-yard gain to spur another War Eagle drive. Anderson Russell added insurance, and after the Matamo kick, Marist led 37-15. Peter Guchenritter and David Pinelli collaborate for an 11-yard loss. The Spartans dusted off the playbook and executed the hook and ladder successfully for a 57-yard touchdown to end the scoring. The final, on the road, Marist romps 37-21.
The most dominating part of our team is probably the defense because it took us a while to get where we wanted to be, but each game we thought we improved and improved.
As a defense, we were pretty small and scrappy. We definitely were outsized every game, but we were stronger mentally and physically, and we had big hearts.
Look at us defensively, we weren't very big. We averaged 185, 188 pounds on defense, but we were extremely quick, and we got much tougher as the season went on. We were able to come up with some plays, kids that could run and fly and hit and make plays. We got pushed around some this year too.
Unfortunately, I would think of us kind of as a bend but not break defense, which may not be the best way to describe a defense, but it worked for us.
You know, we're not the biggest guys out there, but we'll just hit you in the mouth. Everyone flies around. I feel like we really came together for the last 5 games of the season in the playoffs and just started playing, you know, Marist defense, just hitting people, hitting in the mouth. That's all you can do. That's what defense is, and I just feel like that's what we were good at, and that's why we were successful.
I mean, as a defensive unit, we take pride that every team we play is going to be bigger than us. Every offensive line is going to be bigger than our defensive line. All the running backs are probably going to be faster than us. We take pride in doing things right and being tougher than the other team.
Defensively, we weren't a team of standouts, really. We had probably the smallest defense. In fact, I could just about guarantee that we had the smallest defense to win a state championship in 13 years since Cairo won it back in 1990. But especially in the playoffs, it was clear that team effort is what it's all about.
And our secondary, we were something special. We would make something happen if it had to happen. From goal line stands to interceptions to broken up passes. You know, I think we did our job back there, and the whole defense stood out as a dominating force on our team.
Early on, an aroused Marist defense showed the opponent what it was in store for to force a punt. It rolls, a bad hop, 99 yards from the promised land. The War Eagles start on their 1. McVay back, looks, finds Chris Ashcody for a 14-yard gain. McVay rolls out, tucks it in, scrambles to his right. McVay still running, McVay down after a 28-yard gain. From the central 28-yard line, McVay's fate caught the opponent flat-footed, and Sean strode in for 6 points. Using trickery, Ashcody hurled to Brian Donlin for an 8-zip lead. Once again, it was nowhere fast for the visitors. After a fumble, Alex Salzillo sprung Michael Ashcody for a 20-yard score. Matamo made it 15-0 late in the first. After a central punt, McVay back. McVay, in essence, pulls the quarterback draw up the middle. McVay circles. McVay runs. McVay scores 36 yards. The kick makes Marist up 22-0. On first down, Central went for the flea flicker, but Brian Donlin short-circuited the pass attempt. On the next scoring drive, Michael Ashcody bursts for 16 yards up the middle. Matamo converts and ups the War Eagle lead to 29-0 midway in the second. Cat Quick, Bud Crawford, sacks the Central quarterback for a 9-yard loss. Anderson Russell back to receive the punt. Russell catches the ball. Russell cuts. Russell jukes. Russell races for a 45-yard punt return. The kick good made it 36-0 Marist. After the kickoff, Brian Donlin quickly came up to create a loss. After another Central punt, McVay adroitly weaves his way down to the 39-yard line for another first down. McVay scampers for another 20-yard gain. McVay in the shotgun. McVay fakes. McVay runs up the middle. McVay cuts to the right. McVay breaks for a 19-yard touchdown trot to boost Marist to a 43-0 landslide at halftime. Early in the third quarter, Michael Ashcody with the handoff, cuts back. Michael races unattended for a 54-yard touchdown gallop. After the kick, how do you say 50-0? The Marist D continues to throttle Central, creating another loss. And on this play, the Marist secondary shows us skilled coverage and knocks the ball down. Chris Ashcody, in for McVay, helps ignite a 90-yard, 16-play drive with this run. Jason Garofalo finished the drive with his 3-yard keeper. The kick finished the evening scoring as the War Eagles demolished Central Forsyth 57-0.
On offense, I thought we were a very good, solid offensive line. We had several great players up there, but we had several other players that were just kind of average players for us in terms of what we've had in years past.
We had better people probably at every position, but I don't know if we had a better offensive line, the five of them together thinking as one and talking and communicating. And we've had good offensive lines, but this may have been the best unit as a group.
Our O-line is just, they were killing people this year. I mean, our backs, I mean, we were good, but I mean, just with the blocks from the O-line just made us so much better. I mean, without those blocks, I mean, we couldn't have been anything.
I think it was one of the most athletic backfields that we've had, but we weren't a one-dimensional type team where it was just Sean McVay running the football or Michael Ashcody or Chris Davis. I mean, we had four backs back there that were getting almost equal amount of touches and doing some great things for us.
Sean's probably the best I've seen since I've been here. And game after game, he'd do something that just kind of amazed me with what he could do and what he could accomplish.
We had great skill players on offense this year, no question about it. And they played behind a great offensive line. So offensively, we were a dangerous team. I would have hated to have had to stop our offense.
From a team standpoint, we were the most well-rounded, dangerous team that we've probably ever had.
An undefeated Marist squad traveled north on Georgia 400 to be entertained by region foe South Forsyth. South Forsyth received the kickoff and started a 13-play drive. South Forsyth scored for a 7-0 lead midway in the opening quarter. The War Eagle offense stalled and Marist was forced to punt. Several plays later, South Forsyth stormed and scored and took a quick 14-0 advantage. Early in the second quarter, Chili Davis throws a halfback option pass to Chris Ashcody to reach the 1-yard line. Sean McVay slices over for 6. After the missed PAT, Marist trails 14-6. After the kickoff, Chris Ashcody tips the pass to Danny Lee for the interception. Several plays later, Chili Davis powers in from the 2. McVay then found Chris Ashcody for 2 to knock the game at 14-all with 8:05 left. Mike Matamo's kickoff was mishandled and an alert John Marshall recovered at the South Forsyth 28. After several plays and a penalty, McVay scores on a 2-yard run. And Mike Matamo gives Marist a 21-14 lead. Danny Lee pressures and leads a massive Marist rush to create a South Forsyth loss. After a punt, Sean McVay on a slick keeper gains 23 yards.
McVay in the shotgun, drops back. He's got all day. McVay rolls left, hits Davis for a big gainer right before halftime.
As time expires, Matamo drilled a 33-yard field goal for a 24-14 halftime lead. William Middleton back deep for the second half kickoff. William takes the ball at the 3. He hops on his horse. William races 63 yards to the South Forsyth's 36-yard line. 2 plays later, Michael Ashcody swerves off guard for a 25-yard scoring burst, and quickly Marist was up 31-14. After South Forsyth went 3 and out, McVay connects with the wide-open Middleton for a 26-yard touchdown. The kick fails and Marist leads 37-14. South Forsyth recovers a Marist fumble and drives, but Chili Davis breaks up the pass. South Forsyth punches in for the score. Marist 37, South Forsyth 21. Marist spoils any upset chances as Russell takes the ball, sprints outside, cuts into the end zone for 6. 44-21, Marist leads. Snap to Christopher Ashcody. He steps back, he tosses, he chucks it to Brian Donovan down to the 1. Punches it in to make it 51-21 War Eagles. Late in the game, William Middleton playing center field, collects a pass 3 yards deep. Middleton runs past the 20. Middleton breaks through. He's on the 40, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 30. He ducks and scampers more. The 10, giving 6. The final, Marist wins going away, 57-21.
The Red O and the Red D are crucial to what we're trying to do. To put in a game plan each week, it takes a lot of preparation, and those guys work so hard and help us so much to get that game plan ready and get it set for Friday night. I mean, I can't even express how much those guys help, and also to see guys like that work so hard is just it's inspiring, and they're crucial to our success and our chemistry and everything.
I don't think many defenses in the state are going to be able to recognize offenses like our defense does. I don't think many quarterbacks are going to hear, like, when they go up to the line and the mic backer on the other team is sitting there saying, watch toss or watch this or watch that. I think that's a mental aspect that many people don't get to really understand.
The red team definitely played a role. Red defense, gave the offense a really good look most of the time. We read our keys and everything, and where we were supposed to go, and I think that it showed on Friday night that the offense really knew where they were going.
If it wasn't for the Timneys and the Merkles and all these guys out there who giving you everything they had, this football team would not have made it. And those are the guys who I believe are dominating force of this team, the people who are on the Red O and the Red defense, because they got us prepared week in, week out for our opponents.
We won the state championship because our red teams were the best in the state.
Having won its first 6 games, Marist hosted its county neighbor Chamblee for homecoming, and the stadium was brimming. Deep for Marist, John Marshall received the kickoff and raced 20 yards to the Chamblee 43. Marist was forced to punt, and Peter Gutschenritter makes a solo tackle. On 3rd down, a late hit by Marist gives Chamblee better field position. With the ball, the option pass, Andrew Card makes a brilliant interception to thwart the drive. In the second quarter, the Bulldogs regained possession, and Chamblee completed a 68-yard scoring bomb. Danny Lee blocks the PAT, and Marist trails 6-0. Gleason, Salzillo, and Norwood clear the path for Chile. Davis on a 37-yard run. Marist on the 7 chooses Russell, who says, "Give me 6." Matamo converts for a 7-6 Marist lead, and with 6:30 left, the first half scoring is completed. To open the second half, Danny Lee stripped the ball and Andrew Card recovered. Michael Ashcody quickly bounded 22 yards to give Marist the lead. The kick made it 14-6 Marist. On the next possession, Andrew Card rejected a 3rd down Bulldog pass and forced the punt. Michael Ashcody spearheads the next Marist drive by driving the midfield. Michael Ashcody's 6th straight carry yielded the Marist touchdown. Marist 21, Chamblee 6. Chamblee quickly responded to narrow the gap to 21-12 with 11:46 left. On the first play from scrimmage, Michael Ashcody sprinted 39 yards, but the drive stalled. The Bulldog drive was squelched and they settled for a 3-point rangefinder for a 21-15 Marist lead with 4:59 left. On the next kickoff, Jason Garofalo took the kick, broke right, and danced for a 37-yard return. Mike Matamo tries a 40-yard field goal, and it's good! Marist 24-15. Chambly's last-ditch effort is derailed by Chili Davis, who takes it to the house. Final homecoming score, Marist 31, Chambly 15.
It had been a long season, but our ability to just constantly go out there and work and listen to what our coaches said and just keep after it has to be one of the great things about our team. We kept it going.
I was hitting the weights real hard. Coach Mandy did those mat drills Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 6:45, and that's dedication right there, having to go to those every morning. And I think that really helped us. You know, everyone looked quicker, had better feet when we came out and started practicing.
The off-season program this year was by far the best we've ever had. I mean, the strength program, just working out in general, I mean, everything was so oriented for football, power cleans and bench press, and everything we did was directed towards that.
So I made an effort to just start lifting weights every week and getting stronger, trying to get myself to where I'm consistently kicking the ball into the end zone.
Everything behind the state championship team was not only the chemistry, our class, the senior class, 35 seniors, just absolutely carried the team, the chemistry among all of us, and just the will to win.
Every Tuesday during the summer, we'd take the linemen outside for Hog Heaven. We'd go out, have some fun, flip tires, have pool workouts, and it was just everything we did built team chemistry, but I mean, it built us as players as well.
The next game, Marist is going for the Forsyth County hat trick, now facing North Forsyth High on the road. Early in the game, Marist defensive back William Middleton plays deep and picks it off. Sean McVay back hits Chili Davis for 14 yards. And on the keeper, the option magician McVay covers 17 yards for the opening score. The kick makes it 7-0 Marist. On the next possession, Chris Ashcody smells a trick and creates a 9-yard North Forsyth loss, forcing the punt. Marist with the ball, and Chili Davis outraces the defense to spot the ball at the 5-yard line. Anderson Russell powers for the second score, and it's 14-0 Marist with 1:05 left in a very quiet Raider Valley. Back on defense shortly later, William Middleton intercepted his second pass of the quarter. Chris Ashcody quick pitches to Sean McVay, who cuts back for a 33-yard gain to the 15. From the 7, McVay fakes to Ashcody, and Anderson Russell powers in for the score. Minutes later, McVay slings to his left, and Middleton, having the game of his life, goes all the way for a 30-yard score. And Matamo's kick increases the lead to 24-0 Marist. Marist quickly scores again as Brian Donlin steals the pass, and 36 yards later, Marist has a 31-0 bulge late in the second period. Marist tacks on insurance points as Anderson Russell plays Superman on the toss sweep and scores. Matamo's kick is good, and my lord, his leg must feel tired. 37-0 Marist. Seconds later, Danny Lee grabs the loose ball to score just before halftime, and it's Slaughtersville, 44-0 Marist. In the second half, Alan Chadwick called the dogs off, but the Forsyth County butchery continued, and Marist claimed the victory with a final score 58-0.
I really think that what makes Marist special and makes us a better football program than everybody else is, I think it starts at the top. I think it starts with Coach Chadwick and what Coach Chadwick expects out of his coaches.
One of the most positive aspects of our football program is our coaching staff. Those guys really do an unbelievable job in terms of motivating kids, of working with kids, of teaching them and knowing the game of football.
They gave us the advantage in every game. You know, we get our scouting reports and everything like that 2 days in advance. We're studying them. We know our assignments. We know what kind of looks the other team's going to give us, and it's a huge advantage for us.
And this coaching staff is the best coaching staff I've ever been around in my life, and the knowledge of football here, it's second to none. I mean, we coach these kids like they do in college. I mean, we study films, we get out there on Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays, and that's when a lot of our work is done, and we prepare the teams on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And the next thing you know, when Friday comes here, there's no shocks. Everybody knows what to expect from the other team.
I would say that they were more of that subtle, constant background force that just letting us know what we need to do, letting us know what's right and wrong and where we can do a little bit better. But it would not be good for them to be a dominating force. It's up to us to take care of business. It's up to them to guide us and lead us, and I think that's exactly what they did.
Coaches were just, you know, they were great to me. Coach Chadwick let me be a part of this team, and I really needed that because I couldn't see myself without Marist football.
Everybody has a vital role here. Everybody from me to Merkel to Timony to Sean to the offensive line to the defense to Dee to the checks to everything. We make sure that everybody is well prepared and everybody did their part.
Coach Chadwick is always going to do what he's going to do, and he's going to coach you in the right things, and he's going to put you there, but you have to put yourself in a position to make it happen.
And I've been fortunate enough to have some of the best around. And I think our staff chemistry has just been completely unbelievable.
The next week, undefeated and third-ranked Marist High entertained Riverwood at Hughes Spalding Stadium. On the opening kickoff, William Middleton fields the ball deep for the War Eagles from his 10 and charges 46 yards to the Riverwood 44. On first down, Sean McVay out of the wishbone faked and kept and ran for a 44-yard quick score. Matamo made it 7-0 early. Matamo kicked and Riverwood tried a reverse that was diagnosed by Anderson Russell and John Marshall to stop the return. Andrew Dede and Bud Crawford created a loss which led to a punt. Starting from the 34, Sean McVay threw a quick slant to Andrew Card for 28 yards. On the next play, the senior signal caller rode right and cut to record an 8-yard score. Matamo made it 14-0 with 8:16 left. Taylor Cleveland and Andrew Dede make the stop to force Riverwood into another punt. After the punt, McVay hits Middleton for an 18-yard strike to end the quarter. McVay back passes to Michael Ash Cody, good for 9 yards. Out of the shotgun, McVay calls his own number and scores unscathed. Marist with a 21-0 lead after the kick. Great Marist team defense produced yet another Riverwood punt, and Chili Davis went right, tight-roped the sidelines, cut left, look at those blocks by Dede and Card, and took it to the barn for 57 yards. Matamo was true again, and Marist had a hefty 28-0 lead with 9:01 left before intermission. After the kickoff, Taylor Cleveland heads off the run with the 4-yard loss. After Riverwood was forced to punt, McVay drops back, throws 19-yard TD pass to William Middleton. Mr. Automatic Mike Manamo then makes it 35-0, and Marist takes the lead into the locker room. Early in the third period, quarterback Jason Garofalo sped for 32 yards on the keeper to the 16. Andrew Strive then pounded up the middle for the 3-yard touchdown. Patrick Timothy's conversion made it 42-0 Marist. With the mercy rule in play, Riverwood sustained a drive and scored to escape the shutout. The final from Marist, 42-7, War Eagles.
Like, especially like the students, they always get me pumped up. I love it when they come and stuff. And the shakers, you know, the parents, they get into it. So I mean, like the whole thing, it was just a lot more spirit and stuff. And that, I mean, I don't know about the other players, but I know for me, and I'm sure it is for the other players, that always gets us pumped up and, you know, want us to be able to perform that much better.
Because the football players were doing so well, we got really excited and really tried to help the school spirit stay up.
The fans were unbelievable. They were there. I mean, they were cheering us on. They were at every single one of our games just there. And I mean, that spirit line is it's unbelievable too. It's such a rush just running through that spirit line.
Spirit lines, they just got bigger and bigger as the season went on. I mean, so big that you're running through and you're like curving. It's like going towards half field and then you're coming back. I mean, that whole experience, it made it that much more better.
A group each week that would go into the locker room and put all the gifts in the boys' lockers.
That was the most fun day, going to the locker room.
Yeah, because like that group could bond and you just like hang out in the locker room and like you would
Goof
write,
around.
Yeah, you'd write notes to the players and put them on their locker.
Every Thursday after practice, I went into that locker room and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting cookies today. And if there wasn't cookies, I was pretty disappointed.
The fans were absolutely just unbelievable. I mean, the parents came out with a line, you know, every week, and they had the balloons and everybody screaming. It's excitement. It was unbelievable. It's like it was something in the atmosphere.
On a pleasant autumn evening, the War Eagles invaded the home of bitter rival St. Pius X, owning 21 straight victories over Pie High. The Golden Lions had emailed the alumni to attend, promising a great game. On the opening kickoff, Chili Davis fielded the ball, headed right, and raced to the Pie High 41-yard line. Sean McVay then hurdled and kept his feet, bursting for a 32-yard opening touchdown. Mike Manamo converted and the War Eagles had a 7-0 lead very early. After the kickoff, the Pie High quarterback dropped back, setting up a screen pass. Look at the blocks, and he goes for 65 yards and the score. Pie High's kick fails, and it's Marist 7, Pius 6. Anderson Russell is deep for the ensuing kickoff, which he grabs and hits the seam and carries up to his 41-yard line. Sean McVay goes left on the keeper and loses the handle. Pie High recovers on the Marist 40. Greg Van Valkenburg and Bud Crawford make a huge play to slow down the Golden Lions. Marist D forces a 50-yard field goal attempt and is no good. Marist takes over, and with the pitch, Anderson Russell creates breathing room with a 23-yard gain to the 47-yard line. McVay's deep throw was picked off, and Pie High took over on their 25 to end the first quarter with Marist ahead 7-6.
The Marist offense took over after Pie High stalled, and Sean McVay, on the option keeper, raced for 58 yards to the Pius 22-yard line. Michael Ashcody then spun out of a grasp and crossed the goal after a 21-yard determined effort. Matamo's PAT was good, Marist 14, Pius 6. After the kickoff, Marist blitzed, and Greg Van Valkenburg threw the Golden Lions quarterback for a huge loss. After a field goal, Marist took the lead into halftime with a 17-6 lead. Early in the third, the Pius quarterback rolled right and with excellent protection fired. The Golden Lion receiver caught it and scored on a 47-yard pass play. The PAT was good and the Marist lead shrunk to 17-13. Pie High kicks. Anderson Russell fields the kickoff. Anderson eludes the Golden Lions, rumbling all the way to the Pie High 35 with a 60-yard return. But a Marist fumble allowed Pius to gain possession on his 15-yard line. St. Pius then manufactured the double pass play, good down to the War Eagle 21-yard line. And from the Marist 9, Pius exploited a gap and scored to take a 20-17 lead. After a Marist punt, Pius runs a toss sweep, and the runner breaks clean but fumbles on the Marist 18 to end the third quarter. Late in the fourth quarter, desperate to score, Marist mounted a last-ditch effort. McVay on the keeper twisted for 13 yards. Then the toss sweep is botched, and Pius recovers to ensure the shocking upset.
And it's like what Doc said. Yeah, there might be a dent on that trophy, but it shows who we are. And I didn't talk about the Pius game much after that night. And I was as low as I've ever been after an athletic event. Let's just say that. But hey, it's what makes us who we are. And if we don't lose that game, we may not win a state championship. That is a definite possibility because of what we learned from that and how we gained as a team from that. And sure, it's a low light in terms of how we felt that night, but in the long run, it's part of what made us who we are and part of why we're going to be wearing a ring next year.
If I could change anything from this season, I think the first thing you'd want to change is the loss to Pius. But when you go back and really think about it, if we hadn't lost to Pius, I don't know if we would have won the state championship. And that loss was such a low for us that it completely remotivated us. That following week of practice, I don't think anyone had ever had a week of practice that was that tough. But it's exactly what we needed. And we rebounded, got back up, and if we hadn't lost to Pius, I don't know if we would have had it in us to drive the 70 yards against Shaw to win the game.
Getting on the bus after that game and riding him and looking into the faces of my teammates, you know, everyone was crushed. Everyone was just so disappointed. Just seeing the coaches at their speeches after the game, you know, you could just feel their disappointment, and it killed everyone. Everyone was just so down after that game.
I think it brought us all to a surreal level and let us realize that we're not destined for anything.
When we got back to Marist, we talked with the coaches, and they basically told us we had 2 or 3 options. They said we can quit now and we just lose in the first round of the playoffs, or we could go ahead and just depend on our talent that we already have and probably go win 2 or 3 games in the playoffs, just based on just kind of resting on the talent we have, or we could start working and win 5 more games and win the state championship. And I think as a team, we all decided that night that's what we had to do, and we went out and did it.
I'd say the turning point of the defense this season was kind of after that loss. Like, it just made us start practicing like hard again, and then that next week against LFO, we just started finally playing with a little emotion. We just put it all together, and after that, we're kind of unstoppable.
The Pius game was the best and worst thing to happen to this football team all year. No question about it. You have to give Pius a little bit of credit. They played very hard. Their coaches did a good job of coaching. I think we got out-coached that night. We did a lousy job that night, and our players did not make plays that we make on a routine basis. It was just one of those nights where nothing went right.
that made us who we are. I think that refocused us. I think it made us coach harder, made us play harder, made us refocus on things that were important, got us back to what Marist does well. I think as coaches, I think we got complacent, which I think is natural to do when you think you're as good as you are. And I don't think I'd change a thing. I think it was a magical season, and like Doc likes to say, when we get that trophy, there'll be one little dink on it just to remind us of who we are.
As a whole, go to waste, even after the Pius game. If anything, ran us all the way to the state championship.
You know, coming them, beating them for 20-some-odd straight years, and then, you know, having a team that's, you know, really couldn't compare to us as far as athletically, just, you know, wear us out. And, you know, that really hurt all of us. And it kind of gave us, you know, a punch in the face. You know, look, this is where we are, and this is, if we want to be there, we have to work a little bit harder.
I didn't know what to do afterwards. I was shocked. I mean, I couldn't cry. I couldn't say anything. I stood out there and I just watched all the Pius kids dance around all over the field, and then I thought, I mean, this stuff just doesn't happen, you know, for nothing. So I thought there had to be a reason for it, and then I thought, well, you know, well, we got to win state now. So.
Again, I'm always going to believe that was the best thing that could have happened to this team. It was our Pearl Harbor. It woke us up and made us mad, and the results are there to see. And you know, putting that aside, you know, whatever about the Pius game, you know, we'll be seeing them around. They'll be wearing their T-shirts that say 17 to 20 or 20 to 17, and we'll be wearing our rings that say state champions.
When the fog comes off Yancey Creek in the early fall and lingers over the field, we always say that's the ghost of Marist football.
After a week off to lick its wounds, Marist began the second season, the playoff drive. First up was visiting Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, sporting an 8-2 record from near Chattanooga and coming with a reputation for toughness. After the opening kickoff, LFO drops back and completes a long pass off the bat down to the Marist 6, first and goal. LFO goes wide right on a sweep. Up comes Chris Cody. He stops him for no gain. LFO's field general doubles fakes and drops back. He carries. He's stopped by Greg Van Valkenburg. Third down. This is serious. He's denied by Gutschenritter and Didi. Big stop. Fourth and goal. Huge implications. LFO bootlegs to the right. He's got it. No! Stopped by Gutschenritter. Marist has made a championship-like defensive stand. There's frenetic activity in the Marist stands. McVay fakes and throws to Cody Michael for 19 yards. McVay back. He eyes Chris Cody. He hits him deep down to the LFO 29. At the 15, McVay to the big fullback. He drives. He scores. And the kick is good. Marist first blood 7, LFO 0. After the kickoff, LFO launches a drive, capped off by this run. The kick is good, and we've got a push, 7-all at the 7:50 mark. After the Marist punt, LFO at their own 35. He drops back. There's a wide out over the middle. It looks like he's gone. 65 yards. Touchdown. Speed kills. The kick is good. 14-7 visitors with 3:37 before half. 49 seconds, second quarter. McVay, card, catch good. Same combo to the 29. Watch the clock. Card with another catch out of bounds to stop the clock. With time expiring, Matamo 40-yard field goal is good. Halftime score, LFO 14, War Eagles 10. Early in the second quarter, Norwood and Murphy make a hole. Chris Davis with the ball. Unbelievable blocks. Look at Chili run at the 10. Speed back at you. Touchdown. And the kick is good. 17-14 Marist in an eye blink. LFO back to pass. Broken up by William Middleton. LFO back to pass. He's rushed. He's sacked by the rush of Taylor Cleveland. Great Marist D all night. Early in the fourth, LFO back to punt. Anderson Russell. Anderson running. Anderson breaks to the left sideline. Great return for Anderson Russell for 17 yards. First down Marist. There's a pitch to Davis. Look at the block by Russell. Davis cuts past midfield. Davis on his horse. Davis cuts back in the middle. Chili Davis down to the 10. Another haymaker for Davis. Touchdown, 61 yards. The kick is good. Marist at home, 24-14. LFO punting. They're 3 and out. Anderson Russell back deep. Anderson takes the ball. Anderson squirms, twists and fights to the 38. McVay. McVay back to pass. McVay spots Andrew Card. Good for 17. Hand off to Chili Davis. He's on a roll. Davis pounds for the touchdown. Kick is good. Marist 31-14. After halting LFO, Marist from the 36, McVay fakes to his fullback. He keeps. He's at the 15. He's at the 10. McVay scores. Matamo is good. 38-14 Marist. McVay takes the knee. No more clock. Marist advances. 38-14.
I just remember no one was standing up, none of the fans were. We were trying to cheer, and Coach Chadwick, I think, was just tired of it. And so he got up on the bleachers and started yelling at people to get up. And I think that really sparked our fans to get up and keep cheering.
Everyone listens to Chadwick, so everyone stood up, and a lot of energy for the rest of the game from that point on.
Threw his hands up and got us all going. And being on the field at that time and hearing the band, him getting the band up and the band just wailing out, just fired everybody up. And we had a 4-out series, and it was incredible.
I just turned around and I didn't think that there was a whole lot of excitement coming from our sideline, from our fans, from our student body, from anybody in the stadium. It's just like, the golf claps up there. People just kind of sitting on their hands and, not getting really excited and very emotional. And it got the best of me. I got a little bit upset, a little bit challenged that, hey, we got to do something. We got to get behind these kids, and we got to get some excitement going and some enthusiasm. And that was the reason for getting up on the benches and, encouraging all those people to get up and not sit down and, to get excited and get emotional, and let's try to help these football players perform better.
And we actually had a picture taken of Chadwick, and we made a poster out of it. So every game when we felt like we needed to get the fans up, we would rip off the banner and Chadwick would be behind it, and we would run it back and forth on the track to make the fans up.
He stood up and kind of wanted somebody to get up out of their seat and start yelling and start screaming for us and stuff. I just thought that was a big turning point, just because it really ignited the fan spirit and everything. So that kind of carried us through all the way to the state championship game.
I remember looking up into the stands before kickoff versus LFO, and the place was going nuts. I would think it was right after Coach Chadwick got up. And I mean, you could just feel it as a player, you could really feel their influence on you and stuff. So I think the fans were definitely a big part of it.
That really woke them up and showed how big of a deal the fans could be. And then there's a tremendous turnout during the playoffs when all the parents and the students realized that we needed the fans to go all the way, and that was a huge part, pumping us up when we got down, and then while we were up, it kept us up and we could do great things.
Second round playoff opponent, Westlake High, big and mean. They have to travel to higher seeded Marist. They sport 2 giant all-state tackles. After the kickoff, Marist Michael Palma stops the 260-pound Westlake fullback. Westlake tries to go wide, but Bud Crawford and Mr. Guchenritter once again make the stop. After forcing a punt to start the second quarter, Michael Ashcody springs for 43 yards to the Westlake 44-yard line. Ashcody, with the ball, rips and bucks for 15 more in the first down. McVay back to pass. McVay looks, McVay throws, a rare mistake, interception, Westlake, end of drive. And the score at halftime, 0-0. Westlake driving in the third quarter, throwing to the back of the end zone, touchdown Westlake. And the kick fails, 6-0 Westlake at 7:53 left in the second. After the kickoff, Michael Ashcody takes the handoff. Quickly, he breaks it. At the 20, at the 10, bingo, give him 6. Touchdown Marist. Matamo's kick gives Marist a 7-6 lead. After the kickoff, there's pressure on the quarterback. Von Valkenburg and Crawford sack him, 14-yard loss. After the punt, in the wishbone, McVay pitches to Chili Davis. Down the sidelines, blocked by Ashcody. Davis with his A-game is gone, 65 yards. Joy on the field as Matamo is good, 14-6 Marist. Westlake first down after the kickoff. Fumble recovered by Bud Crawford on the Westlake 35. After a face mask penalty, McVay quickly to Chris Davis at the right corner, touchdown. The PAT, watch the fake. Chris Ashcody hits Patrick Gleason for 2. That takes us to the third period, 22-6 Marist. After a punt, McVay back to pass. Somebody's napping. Chili Davis hauls it in. The route is on. 29-6 Marist. Westlake punts short again. Chris Ashcody on the keeper. Young Chris. Chris to the 2-yard line. Handoff to Matt Husak. Touchdown Marist from the 2. And the kick is good. Marist 36-6. We'll see you here next week. Marist drew a hard quarterfinal foe from Columbus. Shaw High School is ranked first in the state. Could Marist stop Jose Garcia, the back who gained over 300 yards the previous week as the Raiders thrashed Woodward? We'll find out. Shaw set the boot, the opening kickoff. William Middleton back on his 5. Middleton breaks. Middleton up to the 34-yard line. First down Marist. The exchange is bobbled. It's a fumble. Shaw's ball on the Marist 35. After a penalty, the Raiders attempt a 47-yard field goal. It's good, 3-0 Shaw, but early. After a Marist punt, Garcia goes wide and is stopped by Taylor Cleveland and David Pinelli. On first down, McVay keeps and cuts back. He's got a gainer and he's got Marist out of the hole. McVay fakes, he's open. McVay runs, he's to the Shaw 48-yard line. McVay pitches to Chili Davis. Davis fires. Chris Ashcody wide open. He holds on for the touchdown. Matamo's kick hits the post, no good. Late in the quarter on 4th down, Van Valkenburg pressures Garcia into Dede, and Marist takes over. McVay barks. McVay gets the snap. McVay on the keeper. McVay cuts back. McVay rushes. He's nearing Shaw territory. McVay down to the 44-yard line. McVay on the reverse to Chris Ashcody. He halts, throws to Chili Davis. It's good, great catch. Chili down to the 8. But Marist had to settle for the field goal, and Matamo makes it 9-3. Shaw's driving. He's back to pass. The ball's tipped. Andrew Dede runs it to the Marist 43-yard line. With time expiring in the first half, Matamo lines up. Matamo boots. The kick is good from 42 yards out. Shaw on 4th down at punt formation. Garcia takes a direct snap and races to the Marist 29. Shaw to Garcia. He cuts back. Jose dives to the 10. He's in for a touchdown. Several plays later, after a Marist turnover, Cleveland drops the runner for a 4-yard loss to end the 3rd quarter. Shaw with the first down on the Marist 47. The Giant fullback bounces off tackles. He gets open. He carries into the end zone for a 47-yard touchdown run. 17-12, Shaw. Marist begins a drive. Marist must score. Bradford, Salzillo block. Chili for 11. Michael Ashcody, behind great blocking, bursts for the first down up to the Marist 49. Ball snapped. If Marist doesn't score on this drive, the season is over. McVay keeps. McVay for a big first down. Ashcody with the handoff down to the 27 with brute force. McVay hands to Ashcody. He hammers through Shaw tacklers to the 19-yard line. Handoff Anderson. Salzillo, Rumsey open the way. On 3rd down, McVay to Ashcody again. But no! The naked bootleg. McVay scores! This may go down as the greatest drive in Marist High School football history. Now Marist must go for 2. McVay back. Incomplete. 18-17 Marist. Inside 3 minutes. Shaw with the play. Quarterback, hands off. They're trying the right side. He's strung out. He goes wide, and he's stopped by William Middleton. Desperation setting in for Shaw. The quarterback drops back. He's pressured. Intercepted by Sean McVay. McVay downed on the 37-yard line. McVay under center. McVay takes a knee. There are no more timeouts. Watch that clock run down. It's beautiful. They're dome bound. Look at the jubilation on the sidelines and in the field. Shaw, disconsolate, goes home a loser.
The Shaw players, they got up, and they were jumping up and down thinking, yeah, we won the game, we beat Marist, we're going to the semifinals, and yet there's Sean walking into the end zone untouched. But, I mean, it really just wasn't that play, it was that whole drive, but that play had to cap it off. I mean, out of all plays, that would be the most important one. That would define us as a team.
From where I was standing, I could see him hiding the ball the whole time, and just thought, you know, he's gonna score and we're gonna win and we're going all the way. And just when everyone went nuts, it was just awesome.
The play, I guess, would be the whole drive to end the Shaw game, the whole offensive session. Because I've never seen an offensive line knock such a defensive line off the ball and just lead the way for the backs just to charge down the field, and then finally I guess if I had to pick the one play, it'd be the last bootleg that Sean McVay called that went in for the touchdown to go over Shaw.
It was amazing that we drove 90 yards in however long we did it, and it was just an amazing cap to an amazing drive.
The play I'd pick as the play of the season was probably the interception that Dede had going into right at the end of the second half of the Shaw game, because it put us in position to win the game.
It was picture perfect because you see, the Shaw guys thinking they won, and they think they beat us, high-fiving each other, and then you see Sean walking into the end zone, and just couldn't be more picture perfect, being Shaw at home and, going back to the dome.
In the other games, at the end, we pretty much had a feeling that we were going to win that game. Whereas with the Shaw game, it came down to we got a turnover within the last 30 seconds of the game, and that's when we knew we were going to win. It was just an all-out war, two great teams going at it, and we ended up winning by 1 point. And once we beat Shaw, we had heard what a great team they were, and all the coaches said they were the best team in the state. And after we went through Shaw, we had that confidence that nobody was going to beat us, and we felt like we had a really good chance to win it all.
We are going to make every single play we have to make this happen. I don't doubt that for a second. We're a better damn football team than they are. Do not be denied. Don't let anyone take your dream away from you. Fight your ass off.
Fellas, last year down here, we played hard. Last week against Shaw, we played hard. Tonight, we got to play real hard. We got to step it up a notch. Just like Thomas County will step it up a notch because of who we are. We got to step it up a notch along with it. We got to play real hard. That's all it comes down to.
Hey, tonight is the night of all nights. Let me tell you something, you're underdogs. You're not just playing for yourselves, you're playing for everybody who wore that blue helmet and playing these sons of bitches. Right now, across the United States and Afghanistan and Iraq, there's people who wore that helmet who listen to www.wareagle.com because they want to hear this ass whooping we're about to give them. You will not let them down because tonight, failure is not an option. I'll meet you on the train in the middle, boys. Let's go. Wow!
Those guys sitting across in that other locker room breathe the same air you do. And they drink the same exact water you do. And they wake up in the morning, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you do. But you know what? Tonight I'm going to ask you to be a little bit different. We're going to have to show a little more heart. We're going to have to take that one next step. We're going to have to make one more play than they do. You do that, and we host next week. Let's get it on. Let's get it on for 48 minutes. Let's go to work, baby.
Every single play, 4th and 1. Everybody understand me? Yes, sir. I mean, every single play is 4th and 1, fellas. You've been ready to play this ball game since Wednesday night. You're bored with practice. You've been ready to whip Thomas County's ass since 10:30 last Friday night. Let's go take it to them. Let's go.
Thomas County corrals the ball, and Peter Guchenritter makes a fine stop at the 25-yard line. Greg Van Valkenburg holds the runner to a 2-yard gain. Eric Walden under center. Eric Walden runs the counter. The Thomas County QB past the 40, past the 50, inside Marist territory. Still running on his feet inside the Marist 20-yard line. Walden under center. Throws the strike for a touchdown. After the kick, Thomas County leads 7-0. Marist, first possession. Davis bucks for 4 yards. Third down, McVay pitches to Russell. Russell rambles, hauled down for a 39-yard gain. Third down, McVay, quick pitch, Chili Davis, cruises for 10 yards into first down. Again, third down, McVay in the wishbone, keeps, McVay cuts, McVay races to the score. Mike Manamo, good, 7-7 with 3:33 left after the kickoff. Thomas County with the ball, he's open, he may go all the way, but William Middleton saves the War Eagles with a tackle. Eric Walden looks, he's pressured, tackled by Bud Crawford. 47-yard field goal effort is short. Still 7-7. Marist goes 3 and out and punts as the quarter ends. Eric Walden back. Eric Walden shows his arm with a strike to the Marist 37. From the 23, Walden keeps, dashes, cuts back inside. He's going to go the distance. Touchdown, Thomas County. The kick is good. Thomas County Central 14, Marist 7. 8:12 left in the half. After a punt, Danny Lee and Andrew Deedy apply the brakes. Walden rolls out. He's chased by Greg Van Valkenburg for the sack. Thomas Central back to punt. It's a shank. It's a shank. The ball looks, it's a 12-yard punt. Late in the second quarter, Michael Ashcody powers to midfield with the clock winding down. McVay back, quickly hits Andrew Card. McVay once again hits Chili Davis. That's for a first down. After a loss, McVay rolls back. McVay looks. He's got out of bounds. No, he throws it. Russell catches it. He's wide open. Touchdown, Marist. Manamo ready. He's back. The kick is good. Thomas County with one last play. The quarterback Walden back to pass. It's intercepted. Nice play, Andrew Card. Both squads head for the tunnels. Halftime, 14 all. Marist to receive the second half kickoff. William Middleton back. William Middleton to the 20, to the 25, to the 30-yard line. After a penalty, McVay keeps. McVay runs 17 yards to his 45. McVay, option pitch. Russell for 8. McVay to Chili Davis. Davis for 4. Ashcody drives behind Matt Rumsey for 6 yards. Marist in the flex bone. Hands off to Ashcody. Ashcody bounces outside. Ashcody at the 5. Touchdown, Marist. Manamo makes it 21-14 Marist. Matamo with the kickoff is high and deep. Thomas County waiting for it. He boots it. It's recovered by Bennett at the Thomas County Central 10. McVay to Russell, powers to the 7. Ash Cody off the right side. Ash Cody inside the 5. Ball snap. McVay keeps. McVay down at the 1. 4th and goal. Chadwick gambles. Ash Cody over. Touchdown. The PAT is blocked. Marist leads 27-14 late in the 3rd. After the kickoff, Thomas County 1st and 10. Walden back to pass. Pressured by Von Valkenburg. Hits his arm. It's picked up by Krishai Cody. As Cody runs, he takes it all the way. Touchdown Marist. 2-point conversion. McVay back. Spots Patrick Gleason wide open. 2 points good. Marist up 35-14 with 1:03 left in the 3rd period. 4th down and 8. Thomas County frantic up to the line of scrimmage. Walden back in the spread formation. There's a snap. There's a flag. Walden breaks off. Walden cuts inside the 35. Walden is down at the 30. Fumble! Fumble! No, it's not a fumble. It was 4th and 8. It's over with. Marist ball. Marist chewed 5 minutes off the clock, then punted. Thomas County Central driving late. Walden throws down to the 1-yard line. Walden under center, hands off. Touchdown, Thomas County Central. Marist up 35-21 with 3:58 left. Should be the last play of the game. McVay to Davis. Davis powers, eats clock. War Eagles advance to state 35-21. That's it, brother and sister. From the Georgia Dome to back home. See you next week.
Final, Marist wins it over Thomas County Central 35-21.
You have to remember that Thomas County in 5 previous games had never fumbled, at least not one that we recovered. And I think that having just gone up on top of Thomas County and running down the field and recovering that fumble gave us momentum that I think really shook up Thomas County a little bit. And they're not a team that's easy to shake up. I think they lost their composure a little bit after that. And clearly that, I think, was a huge turning point in that game and getting over a hump that we hadn't been able to get over for many years.
I remember the guy, number 18, he was looking at the ball, and then he looked down at me for a split second, and then he looked back up at the ball, and that's when he dropped it, and I just got on top of it.
From then on out, it was hopeless for Thomas County Central, and we love every minute of that because, of course, we all hate Thomas County Central.
I saw him get the ball, and that was the turning point. That was the moment at which I knew we were going to win this game. I knew that we were going to win this game.
Actually, under the power, he had grabbed it back, but then I was pulling it away from him, and he was like, no, no, and I just came out with the ball. So I mean, I was just there to contribute for the team, just doing what I was trying to do.
It's hard to say that there was just one play that made the season, but I think there were 2 or 3 that were really huge plays that played a big part in our success this year. And I think the touchdown pass from Sean McVay to Anderson Russell just before the end of the first half against Thomas County in the Dome was huge. I think that play really put a seed of doubt in Thomas County's mind and gave our kids some additional momentum going in at halftime.
The play is actually 876 trail flood, which is just a flood route, and we have 3 receivers in the route, and it's a rollout pass. So what happened was that I rolled out and I got some pressure from the defensive end, and I guess the safety thought that I was going to just run the ball or throw it away, and he kind of just came up thinking that the play was over, and Anderson had gotten behind him, and I just ended up throwing the ball down the field to Anderson because he was so wide open, and I got killed on the play, but it ended up being a touchdown for us, and it was great momentum for us.
It's exactly what we needed going into halftime. We needed that momentum, that score to keep us in the game, that upbeat little pump up get the momentum exactly.
I thought it really changed the momentum of the game.
I heard the play going and I saw Sean scrambling, so I thought he was just going to kind of throw it out of bounds or something like that, but all of a sudden the last second he pulls up and throws it downfield. It was unreal. Everyone went nuts, so it was unbelievable.
I mean, Sean was getting run down, and it was just one of those miraculous plays that you only see once in a while.
I got behind my guy, and I thought Sean was going to get sacked, so I started coming back towards the ball, and I saw him throw the ball up, and the guy that was on me just gave up on the play, and I was wide open.
To be honest, when I got hit, I actually thought that it was an interception because I couldn't see anything. I just heard the Thomas County side cheering, so I figured it was an interception. And when I got up, I was excited to see that Anderson had caught it and we scored a touchdown. So that was another, I'd say that was a good play for us also.
Past several weeks, you've heard a lot of coaches talk about the word opportunity. Tonight, we've got the opportunity of a lifetime. That being the case, I took it upon myself earlier this week to do a little research on the history of Marist football, and this is what I found out. Our football program is 92 years old. During that time, we've had about 5,000 players come through this program. 5,000. But only 60 guys back in 1989 have the honor of calling themselves state champions. If you do the math, guys, that is 1% of all the players that have come through this program. That's a pretty elite group. You have a chance to join that group tonight, but I want you to understand one thing, guys. If you take that field for the next 48 minutes, it's not about 92 years or 5,000 players or joining a group of 1%. All that matters for the next 48 minutes is that on every single play, you whip that guy's ass lined up across from you. And I will guarantee you, if we do that every single play, and if they do it one time, you get them the next time. But if we do that for 48 minutes, guys, at 11 o'clock tonight, we'll be a happy group of guys. Let's go do it.
Man, there's no doubt in my mind, this night, right now, this moment, right now, it's 3 years in the making. For this group of players right in front of me, this group that I've worked with, that I love, that I care about, that I believe in, this night is 3 years in the making. And that's 3 years of flipping tires in the summer. That's 3 years of Kurt and Lair doing agilities at 6:30 in the morning while everybody else is sleeping in. That's 3 years of weight room. That's 3 years of leaning on each other, crying to each other, sweating on each other, bleeding together. 3 years in the making. Now ask yourself this. Any of you put 3 years into this just so you can get there? Is anyone satisfied with just getting there? We came here for one reason, with one goal in mind, and that's to win this damn thing. State's World, they think they're going to pound you into submission until you give up and hand them a trophy. It ain't going to happen! Get after their ass, do what you've been doing. You walk onto that field, players, you leave legends. Let's get it done.
Ever since I got in the coaching profession, I always thought about what I would say on this very night. I went through the gamut of things to say. So I tell you about the emotional impact of this game, what it means to the program. I talk about how I felt when I was sitting in your position about 15 years ago. So I talk about the knights in medieval time who said, let this be the hour. We draw swords together one last time. Do I talk about the long blue line? That's what it is. It's a line, which means there's a front and there's a back. You have a chance to move to the front of that line. As I was going over all these things to say, discuss, and talk about, something finally dawned on me. Tonight, gentlemen, you have a chance to play for the title in Hughes Spalding Center. If that cannot motivate you, I don't know what can. A house that do with it? Are we going to be out tough in our house? No way! No way! Get after their ass! Woo! It's here, baby! The train is here! It just let you off! You know what the train is? You are the train! You are the big blue train that's been whooping everybody's ass! Let me tell you something. What you do tonight will echo in eternity. Marist has been around for 103 years. We're all going to die one day, but you know what? You will never die. You will be remembered here as long as this school's here, and this school is never going to die. Tonight, you're going to do something special. We are the big blue line. Look at your brothers. They're all here. They all wore that helmet. They all sweated. They all bled. Let me tell you something. You're about to do something very special. And as coaches, let me tell you something. Y'all all nervous right now. Don't be, because as coaches, we will not let you down. We will find a way to get this done. Go out there, and when the damn whistle's blown, unleash hell. Let them know what it is to be up here from Atlanta. Let them know they talk about thinking how tough is. They ain't got a damn clue what tough is. Hit them in the damn mouth, and that right there will win this football game. I guarantee it. Good hunting, boys.
Back in 1987, on the Monday practice, we were getting ready to go down to Ward County. Coach Murray, who used to be in charge of all the motivational stuff, handed out a poem that he put in everybody's lap. It was called The Time to Fight. And it went something like this. My boy, when the fight is grimmest, and it seems you cannot gain, and you've hurdled yourself at the steel-like line again and again and again, and the tackle rebuffs your plunges, and the ends are as swift as light, and you've started to doubt your power, right then is the time to fight. You feel that you're shot to pieces, lad, but someday you'll know that the battles of life and football are won by the final blow. For the ones who have hit the hardest are as weakened, my boy, as you, and the light must come down to courage, the last vital drop or two. So buckle your heart, old fella, and though all the heavens may fall, give them your hardcore wallop, the weakest, yet best of all. And I tell you, dear boy, the heroes who look down from their heights will say, there's a lad with the last punch courage. Make way for a champion, make way. It's the time to fight. 48 minutes of hell, baby. Let's go to work.
Coach Hewitt, as you recited that poem, I saw about 8 people reciting it with you. Good stuff's gonna happen tonight, bad stuff's gonna happen tonight. I guarantee you this. When bad stuff happens, your brothers right here are gonna pull you up, get you off the damn dirt, get you back where you need to be. And these brothers right here are gonna push you a little bit higher than you thought you could, so you count on it. Man, you're here you are today because of what you brought to the table, because of what these men brought to the table. This is why Coach and I stay here. Because of this. And I don't mean the state championship, because of this. Let's get after some ass tonight. Good luck, Doc.
Let's go, guys. Come on.
I've ever seen in the locker rooms. I know most of these people, and if I know them, they know I love them. And I'm sure they wouldn't take offense to me saying that although we all love them, and although they've played a part in everything, the next 2 hours is about this team right here, right now. We go back 16 months. This team goes back 16 months. And the thing that I love about this football team, when we went over to Southwest DeKalb, everybody had us picked to get our ass beat. We went over there, we said, we don't care. We don't care. We've never cared. And instead of just learning, we learned how to be the ass kickers, haven't we? And you know they're up there right now, and they're stamping them up. They're stamping them up. They're stamping them up. This team isn't afraid of anything.
Those guys out there, it's a full platter, fellas. They're from South Georgia. They're arrogant. They're arrogant as hell. And you know what they're doing? They're all walking around there going, where are we? Where are we? And we're going to go out there and we're going to say, I'll tell you where you are. You're in my house, asshole! Let's go, man!
Dawn broke, wintry blasts of cold swept huge Spalding Stadium. Game day for the state championship, and Marist was preparing to host it. The foe from swampland 200 miles south was en route, a foe with swift and powerful runners, a foe with lumberjack strong linemen. The long blue line lay in wait, patiently making final battle preparations. With perfect execution, victory would be achieved. Statesboro kicks off. It's time to win the state. Chris Davis back. He fields the ball down at the 10-yard line. Second down. Russell on the reverse. Russell up to the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. Russell stumbles at the 35. McVay under center. McVay nonchalantly lobs to Michael Ash Cody for a big gain. McVay barks. McVay to Davis. Davis spins, churns for 7 more. McVay under center. McVay, there's a pitch off the option. Chili Davis outside this time, inside the 35. Davis a fine run. Marist driving. McVay with the ball. McVay closer to that goal line. McVay keeps again, turns in. Touchdown, Marist on its way. What a drive. Matamo kicks, it's good. 7-0 Marist, halfway through the first quarter. Marist kicks off, back to receive, Statesboro. Out to the 35-yard line. Come on defense. On 3rd and 3, Guchenritter makes a huge stop. Marist deep in their territory after the punt. McVay with the ball. McVay keeps for breathing room out to the 29. McVay fakes to Ash Cody. He follows Ash Cody right through a blistering hole. McVay for more yardage. Marist with the lead and running that clock. Pitch to Chili Davis to the 36-yard line. McVay back. Pulls up, passes, hits Andrew Card. Good. First down at the 15 to end the first quarter. McVay to Russell over the top. Touchdown Marist. Manimo adds the extra point. War Eagles up 14-0. Statesboro with no answer for this wishbone. After the kickoff, Gucci, Ritter, and Didi make the stop. Off tackle, and he's smothered by Van Valkenburg. Another big stop by the Marist D forces the punt. Marist in business again. McVay back. McVay pulls up. McVay tucks the ball. McVay runs 6 yards. McVay barks. McVay to Ash Cody. Ash Cody rips off a gain all the way down to the 20-yard line. Marist threatening. McVay back. A classic toss sweep touchdown. Anderson Russell. Manimo kicks. It's good. 21-0 Marist. Statesboro driving. Gucci and Ritter. Big stop. Andrew Card for a big hit. On 4th down, Palma and Gucci and Ritter hang on for the tackle. Statesboro denied. 21-0 Marist at halftime.
Coach, big offensive first half for you, War Eagles.
Well, I'm pleased right now, and defense is playing great too. They've had a couple of big stops for us. This one right here, just before the end of the half, was huge. To go in 3-touchdown lead is a lot better than a 2-touchdown lead. So, but there's still a lot of football left to play, and we got to come out and be tough in the second half.
McVay looked like he had the Statesboro defense on their heels in the first half.
Well, he did a good job. I thought our play calling was good. We're mixing things up, moving it inside and outside. We got to keep doing the same thing. We can't sit on that lead. We got to be attacking and running downhill on them.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think the competition on Friday nights is something that really gets your blood going, and the excitement, and being in a great program like Marist with great people, with fan support and our student body, and the type of players and coaches that we have. Certainly all those things play a factor into it. It's the only thing I know how to do, and I guess the good Lord was really blessed me with being able to be at Marist.
Marist kicks off for the second half. Manimo drills it deep. It's not returnable. What a weapon. Here's the run. Palma knifes in and stops the Blue Devil runner for a key loss. Statesboro. He's back to pass. He's got a receiver wide open. He drops the ball. After the punt, McVay back. There's pressure on McVay. McVay smashed. The pass is complete anyway. Marist for the field goal attempt. Manimo is blocked. No good. Statesboro with the ball. Here's a wide sweep left. Didi makes a huge stop. Statesboro, the fullback, hit by Van Valkenburg. No way. Forced the punt. After a Marist punt, Statesboro with the ball. Taylor Cleveland makes the stop to end the third period. Marist up 21-0. The handoff, he's hit by Cleveland, Didi, and Donlin. Marist after the punt. Chili Davis takes the pitch, goes right. Chili breaks it all the way to the Statesboro 43. After the next Marist punt, the runner breaks off right tackle. He's past the 30, the 40, the 50. Statesboro driving. There's a play. He bursts off left guard. The runner's down to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, knocked out of bounds. Here's the count. To the fullback, plunges over the top. Touchdown Statesboro. No shutout here. The extra point is blocked. Watch that clock. Marist in the pure vanilla wishbone, but it's a fake out of that set. He's to the 50. He's to the 40. Alec Chadwick pulling out all the stops. McVay hobbled, but game goes to clock management. McVay takes the knee. It's all over. Marist is state champs.
It was just amazing to hear the words victory formation, and I mean, it was all coming true, and it was really cool because the snow was starting to come down, and we had won the state championship. It was amazing.
Here we are, we're getting rings. These kids will be remembered forever. They will go down in Marist football history as champions. And it's snowing. And I thought, it was like it was heavenly. And I cried. I wept uncontrollably because I was so happy for these kids.
I think we overcame history, we overcame diversity, and basically we just ended up being the ultimate team.
A lot of people would say it's not really the end, but it's the journey getting there, and there's a lot of truth in that. It's been a fun ride, but at the same time, what a way to go out. And just want to say I'm really proud to be part of the long blue line.
Sean, what a ball game out there. You guys really controlled it on the offensive line.
Yes, sir. The offensive linemen did a great job blocking tonight. Chris Davis, Anderson Russell, and Michael Ashcody, our running backs, ran hard. And our defense played unbelievable. Coaches did a great job, and it makes my job a whole lot easier when I've got great supporting cast like that and great coaches.
After that first drive that you guys scored the touchdown on earlier in the game, I came up to you and I said, you guys look like you're in practice. You ran right up and down the field and scored that touchdown. You had a big smile on your face. It had to feel pretty good.
Yes, sir. Well, it wasn't easy as it looked, but Statesboro is a very tough defense, and we were fortunate enough to move the ball on them. Then, like I said, all the credit goes to the offensive linemen.
Real quick, your last year, how does it feel to win your last year here at Marist?
It feels great. It's an unbelievable feeling, and I'm so happy right now. It's unbelievable.
Sean, congratulations, and go celebrate your team.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Football is the greatest team game in the history of the world. It always has been and it always will be.
Number one. Come on, baby. Yes, sir. Oh my God. Number one. Number one.
Nobody can take it away, baby. Nobody can take it.
Every time someone touches that sign, that's us.
Number one, it's all over, top of the mountain.